Hey everyone, and welcome back to Timeless. Today we're going to be playing some mono red Stompy, which is everybody's favorite archetype apparently. A lot of people have been trying to force this archetype for a long time in Timeless, and I think the pieces are finally coming together. Pretty much for as long as we've had Blood Moon in this format, people have had the idea of playing a red Prison or Stompy deck, just like you can in other formats like Legacy, and the pieces really weren't there, and every so often we'd get a new card. Like we got Chrome Mox about a year ago, and everybody was like, oh, now we can get our Blood Moons out ahead of the schedule. Surely we can play Red Prison. And it was terrible. And then we got Ancient Tomb and Strip Mine, and you're like, all right, more mana acceleration and land interaction for the Blood Moon plan. Surely it's great now. It still really did not feel good, even with all these cards. Then we finally got Pyrogoyf a couple weeks ago with the Arena Anthology, and the deck felt kind of real. It felt like it really had that new explosive 4-drop that could win the game. It plus Fable the Mirror Breaker, which is one of your other best cards in mono red, can completely take over a game if they stay in play for a few turns, so it gave you that explosiveness and inevitability that the deck was really missing. And then just the other day we got Bombardiers, surprise out of nowhere, and this card, I said in the last video, I'll say it again, I think it's the best fair 3-drop in the format now. It is quite literally that good. It's the best card in this deck. It gives this deck a critical mass of absolutely explosive draws. It gives you a way to burn your opponent for a ridiculous amount of damage by flinging an Evoked Fury or a One Ring at your opponents. This deck is real now, and before we had Pyrogoyf and Broadside Bombardiers, we were playing effects like, Goblin Rabblemaster, or we were still trying to play prison pieces like Blood Moon in the main deck. And you'll notice there's no prison pieces in this deck. We're not playing main deck Chalice, we're not playing main deck Blood Moon. Instead, we're just opting for Stompy threats and removal spells. We also got Chain Lightning with the Anthology too, which is cool as a redundant removal spell, but it's not really make or break for the deck. You play something else if we didn't get this in the Anthology, right? And the reason that we're off the Stompy plan, or excuse me, off the Prison plan and on the Stompy plan is because turn 1 Blood Moon and turn 1 Chalice actually do not guarantee a win. Not even close when you're in game 1. Even when you know what you're playing against, like if you're up against Mardu Energy and you want to play Chalice on 1, you're still not really guaranteed to win the game at all because they have so many quality 2-drops. Same, you play against a blue deck and you put a Chalice on 1, they are just going to slam a Psychic Frog, and that Psychic Frog is going to grow faster than your damage-based removal can deal with it. So a lot of pieces like Chalice of the Void and Blood Moon aren't good enough, so we're really leaning into the Stompy Creatures plan. In the sideboard, we only have Magus of the Moon as any sort of a prison piece, and I think this is pretty sufficient. It attacks and blocks, which makes it a bit better than Blood Moon, and we will bring it in against decks that have very greedy mana bases or that are relying on their lands to do something. In the sideboard, we also have quite a few anti-energy cards. We have some Fire Magic. So Fire Magic plus Fury plus Chain Lightning plus Lightning Bolt is enough to contain energy, especially when you can rely on the One Ring to go late. Ghost Vacuum because there are a lot of Graveyard and Strip Mine Recursion decks running around right now, and this is a nice 1-mana answer. It also gives you late game eventuality, right? This deck has a lot of mana, so sometimes you do end up in like a stalled board state or an empty board state where a lot of people are top decking. This is a win con. We have Roiling Vortex and Disruptor Flute as hate for unfair decks. Down here, we got just a couple extra cute ones. We got Sunspine Lynx, which has a bunch of text preventing life gain, preventing damage prevention, and dealing some damage, kind of like a hate piece against non-basics. And then one Meltdown for if we run into an Affinity deck. Other than that, the deck building is very straightforward. It's just like the best threats that we have in Red right now. There's some flex slots. I'm playing Palantir in the flex slot. I think this card is cool. It's really fun. I kill people with Palantir. It draws a bunch of cards. The real flex slot is like this last 3-drop slot. You could play Anya's Ravager, you could play Palantir, you could play a Rabblemaster effect, but man, I really hate Rabblemaster effects. Like before this deck, before we got like Broadside and Pyrogoyf, this deck used to play 8 or 12 Rabblemaster effects, and I just was not a fan. Like these cards aren't good enough for Timeless, unfortunately. And like Anya's Ravager and Palantir are also very borderline, don't get me wrong. If we got another 3-drop similar to Broadside Bombardiers, or if I could play 8 copies of Broadside Bombardiers, I would absolutely do it. Gut doesn't make the cut in this deck. I know I was raving about Gut being a similar card to Broadside, and almost like the 58th copies of it, but that's only if you have a lot of other creatures that are attacking and blocking. We only have one cheap creature in this deck, and that's Ragavan. So we don't have things to like enable Gut to do the Gut thing without needing to attack itself. So we're not going to be on the Gut plan. That's it. This is a One Ring abuse deck. The One Ring has become a staple of the format. I mean, it's been a staple of the format forever, don't get me wrong, but we're in an Ancient Tomb mid-range meta, right? So the One Ring is just an exceptional card. It goes in pretty much any deck that's playing Ancient Tomb, and we're going to be happy to abuse the One Ring as well. All right, I think that's it for the deck tech. Let's go ahead and play some games. All right, game one. We're on the draw. We have a one-land hand that has to rely on this Gemstone Caverns sticking around in order to actually let us cast our spells. We're going to send this back. Very suspicious to keep a one-land hand in a Strip Mine meta. We really want to see multiple mana sources and mana acceleration in this deck if we can afford it. Here we didn't get our mana acceleration, but we can keep this. Unfortunately, we don't get info in this meta. I mentioned this last video too, but like you can't look at your opponent's companion anymore for info. So I don't know if this Fury is good to keep or if this One Ring is good to keep. I'm going to go ahead and throw the Fury back. We are making this decision in the blind though. This hand is not great. We're on the draw. We have no mana acceleration. It looks like our opponent is playing energy, which makes me sad. We're going to play turn 1 Ragavan. Hopefully this just eats a removal spell, Broadside eats a removal spell, then we jam the One Ring and win. That's the plan at least. We're going to pay a lot of life to our lands this game. But that's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes. I was playing a bit right before recording, and I did beat energy at least. Like, it's a winnable matchup. And I beat Mardu too with the discard. I got the Juggernaut pedal me and everything, and we still came out on top, so it's totally winnable. Oh, not energy. Blue Coat. Alright. Show me what you got, Blue Cobra. So what's unfortunate is the One Ring is pretty bad against these assorted Cope decks. And I'm rather tempted to just Strip Mine and then go back on with my life next turn, because I feel like if I chuck Broadside into a counterspell here, it's not really accomplishing anything. So I'm just going to hit their mana source here. My opponent will probably like float white so they can hold up like swords or something. They will stifle my Strip Mine. You got it. Alright, that's unfortunate that we were the one who got Stone Rained at the end. The plan there was to hopefully make them stumble, because if I didn't have Strip Mine in hand there, I probably would have just passed and made them waste their mana they were holding up, because they're probably holding up a mana drain or some other clean way to answer Broadside. And really we need Broadside or the One Ring to stick in play. One of those two. And if I could have gotten them stuck on 1 mana, that's a pretty good way to ensure that. Of course you can't rely on it. There's a Strip Mine coming through. Okay, they do not immediately Strip Mine us. Interesting. Why didn't they? Probably have a Flare of Denial or something. I'm going to throw this Broadside into the counterspell, and hopefully this means we can resolve our One Ring next turn. One would assume that there is a counterspell for this to be thrown into. Looks like they're going to choose to Swords it instead, or whatever removal spell they have, and save their counterspell for something like the One Ring that might show up. Yep, snapped Swords. You got it. Alright, yeah. That's unfortunate. That means they're probably going to snap off the Strip Mine on Ancient Tomb now. Though again, like, if I didn't play my Ancient Tomb and I just played a Mountain and passed, I would have been not advancing the board state. Perhaps my decision to Strip Mine a while ago was bad. Alright. We do get to put a Ragavan into play. This is a pretty nice card. I could dash the Ragavan and just try to get a little mana ramp going on. Since I have nothing else to do, we can dash Ragavan and then hopefully stick a One Ring next turn. This Ragavan might just eat a removal spell, and it's not the end of the world if he does. Alright. Okay, ooh, Bomba. Okay, that's a good draw. So again, our opponent has to have answers, but of course they're the control deck, they're absolutely stacked with answers, so they probably will. And I'm just going to have to trade my cards in hand one at a time for their counterspells. Subtlety. Okay, that's the kind of non-permanent counterspell that I was hoping they would use. Because it means they're running out of resources here. It's a 2-for-1 in our favor as well. So hopefully we can stick this Bomba now. Nice. And obviously if they draw any removal spell, he's dead. But this is a good sign. So now if we draw more mana, this One Ring is probably going to stick around. Pending, they at least had to use their whole turn at sorcery speed. So, yep, we draw mana, we play the One Ring. We're doing really poorly with the life total. Oh my. Yeah, we're not doing great with the life total here. Stoneforge, nice. We're gonna have to bolt this. We now have Batterskull and Cauldron in the format, if you haven't seen yet. So they're probably going to tutor up a Cauldron and try to murder me. So we're going to need to absolutely bolt this. Get to bolt this and either kill this or provide a blocker, and then eventually we need to work towards another copy of the One Ring for the Legend Gruul, or Broadside to throw this at our opponent. Broadside really is a busted card. Broadside being able to get rid of One Rings in a situation like this has been like a real major draw. They go for Cloak for card advantage instead. Sure. Okay, so Stoneforge is less like kill on sight. Okay, we play Anya's Ravager, sure, right? With the Ravager. This is a card that attacks and blocks. Play a Strip Mine. We're going to activate a Strip Mine. We'll cut them off with white mana. Of course, they could just fetch more white mana. But whatever. And then we're going to hold up our Lightning Bolt. We'll put Chromox next turn. Keep in mind the text on Anya's Ravager. It's a very strong card, but it does force you to discard your hand. So we will have to play around that by playing out our Chromox next turn. So it's a question of, do I want to like bolt Stoneforge right now? Just to make sure like this Cryptic Cloak can't like annoyingly enter play at instant speed. I'm going to say yes. I'll go ahead and shoot it right now. So this way, if they do want to get the coat into play, they have to tap out at sorcery speed, and then we're very safe to resolve our threats. Whereas with Stoneforge Mystic, they can hold up 2 mana and either mana drain or put coat into play. Alright, so Cryptic Coat did hit play at sorcery speed. So do we want to resolve this Fable? What we need is a way to get rid of this One Ring. Okay, I'm not going to put the Fable into play because like I need my mana to play something that gets rid of One Ring, which is probably Legend Ruling another One Ring at this point. We could draw cards here to try and find a Bumba. Actually, it's one of the few ads we have in the deck to not dying right now, so I will do that. Okay. Word 2, so I can kill all their stuff, but the problem is I do need to get rid of this ring still. Okay, they have Word 2 here. I could pay Word 2 and still One Ring. Word 2. Unfortunately, I can't Chain Lightning them as well. I need 4 mana. I have to draw One Ring here, otherwise I die to my own card. But we drew Pyrogoyf. Is that enough? Almost, right? Almost got there. Alright, so we're gonna have to take ourselves out, unfortunately. It's pretty close. I mean, I could have actually Pyrogoyfed them and then hoped to draw exactly 2 copies of Lightning Bolt off the One Ring next turn, maybe. That would have been fun. Anyway. What is good against this blue coat deck? It's just Jeskai control with strip mines in it. And the unfortunate part about playing against control is they can just like 1-for-1 counter a lot of our threats. Including the One Ring, right? One Ring is pretty traditionally bad against control style decks. I think we could just try to jam 4 Magus, because their deck is pretty like mana intense, or color intense, as we saw here. We never saw them like fetch a basic. So we can go ahead and try to do that over the One Ring, even though One Ring is obscenely powerful, and just try to have a bunch of threats that turn sideways. We could try to do Fire Magic. Let's try to run it back like this and see if it works. Alright, we're going to be on the play for game 2. We do have a start involving a Bolt into Broadside and Magus. Seems pretty good. I would have liked Mana Acceleration. This Gemstone Caverns isn't Mana Acceleration on the play. I've actually taken this card out. We only have the 1 copy of it, mostly for fun. We'll just hold a Bolt here. They're the kind of deck that like, could be playing a Tameo or Hydroponics, something that you would want to shoot on turn 1. Alright, they're just going to play a Meticulous Archive. That's fine by me. And there we go. Yay, we did it! Get the Blood Moon Lock against the 3-color deck. Sweet. So most 3-color decks will like fetch their white source or blue source on turn 1 if they have the opportunity against a deck like ours, but opponent didn't, so I'm happy about that. Alright. Broadside of Bombardiers. Going in. And hopefully we can kill them pretty quick here. I'm just going to start throwing junk with Bombardiers next turn. Like, yeah, I'm going to imprint nothing on this Chrome Mox and just throw it at them just to make the clock slightly faster. So we're effectively hitting for 6 per turn. We can burn with Lightning Bolt as well. We can make it so their creatures can't block with Sundering Eruption. Yeah, Flavor Text, it's coming in, it's real. And yeah, we kind of cheesed our opponent out of the game. Now I'm going to have 26 comments about, oh, you go to the prison plan is good. Oh, actually, I can't throw the Fable. I was thinking I could throw the Fable for damage. Right. Shoot them, and then we're technically shields down for a millisecond here. They get their lands back, but I don't think it matters. I don't think they had a way to gain life at instant speed. Okie dokie. We're going to try to do the same thing, but on the draw, which is hard, because they won't be able to hold up mana to counter our threats, but surely it'll work out. Right, turn 1 Fable, it's the kind of thing you want to see. It's definitely the kind of thing we would want to see. Our opponent wisely leading on the fetch this time. I don't think we need all 3 Triple Fury here, so go ahead and get rid of 1. Good to have this as like a backup mana source just in case. Stifle? We're gonna Stifle Gaming here? Stifle Gaming! The blue mages, they can't resist the urge to stifle every single thing they see. Alright, let's resolve our Fable. It was unfortunate to go down a card, more or less, but we traded the card 1 for 1 with one of their cards, and this can just get thrown by Bombardiers. I love Bombardiers. What a good card. Yeah, go ahead, strip my Ancient Tomb, dude. You are gonna fall behind if I get to like a treasure here, though. We get swords here. Okay, so they're not ridiculously behind. We drew another tomb, that's fantastic. Let's throw away 2 cards. Extra copies of the Fury, so I don't mind throwing it away. And then do this, and then we could work towards hard casting a Fury and copying it with the flipped Fable. I'd love to draw another threat in the meantime, though. I'll have 4 mana next turn, so any 3 or 4 in the deck would be a very good draw. I'm pretty sure I'm going to like shoot this no matter what, though realistically they're getting Coat again. No, they got Cauldron. I think that was greedy, personally. Because they're tapped out. Now there's just a dead card in their hand, so I don't know. What's the plan? I don't know what the plan was. If they don't have a counterspell, we get to resolve this Fury, which would be incredibly, incredibly strong. That's an if, though. Very big if. Even if they hold up mana, I just like won't cast it. I'll wait for them to cast another creature like Stoneforge, and at least partially tap out, so I can get some ETB value here. The removal spell would be very good for them if they found it. This key is what's going to be the difference between me closing the game quickly and maybe not being able to close the game differently. Honestly, if they tap out here, even if they play no creatures, I'm still going to play a Fury because it attacks for 6, and I can copy it with this to attack for 12. And that more or less kills them next turn. Alright, land drop has been found. Shuffle will be had. My opponent now has a perfectly sculpted Brainstorm hand. Every blue mage is invincible once they get to sculpt their hand. We know this. Alright, life is being paid. Kiki is getting taken out. That's very understandable. So I don't think I'm going to play Fury for 0 value now. I mean, it's a good way to play it around a counterspell. So, question is... Yeah, let's play this around a counterspell. Like, this is a 2-turn clock. They're at 13. We could do 12 in 2 turns. Effectively the 2-turn clock, because they will be fetching and shocking at least 1 more time throughout this game. Surely. We also have this bolt to clear creature threats. Alright, they have a subtlety. Is that the debate here? They're going to 2-for-1 themselves to try to get rid of this. That is honestly very good for me if that happens. Cool. Yeah, Fury goes right back on top. This is a lethal threat. Of course, they have a lot of draws here that could stop it. Any counter spell, any removal spell, that's all good stuff for them, and they're just passing with the mana up, so it's pretty likely they have it. But Fury is better than a random draw. It's a creature that hits for 6. I know I said that like 3 times, but really, it hits harder than our other stuff right now. And like, why would I put Fury back and have the maybe chance of drawing another creature that hits for a lot, right? Let's actually draw it. Okie dokie. Opposing Stoneforge Mystic. I mean, we ball, right? I'm playing this to BM them. Do I have equipment in my deck? Nah. Actually, no, I'm not going to play it then. I'm going to hold up Bolt like a normal person. Hold up Bolt, keep my treasures for next turn where I might need it. So Bolt plus Dash Ragavan is lethal now, even if they have a Fury answer, which is sweet. It appears my Blue Mage was not able to brainstorm into an answer. How is this possible? He got to look at 3 cards from his deck. Surely there was an answer in those cards. Alright, a Stoneforge Mystic has hit the battlefield. I don't think they have an equipment that saves them here. Because they're going to have to chump here regardless, right? Okay, let's just go to my turn. I'm going to dash my Ragavan. So my opponent should have to chump block my Fury here. Alright, they will. So we have lethal anyway with Rag plus Bolt. Mana Drain. Dude, I have Mana Drain to protect my lethal. That's so fucking funny. That's ridiculous. I could have just bolted Stoneforge Mystic as well. I think that more or less results in the same outcome, but that was funny hitting Mana Drain there. Alright, game 2. We're on the draw against the Macaron, but we have a turn 1 on the draw play with Chromevox with Ancient Tomb, so we're going to keep this. Alright, and our opponent is being generous today and not even holding up mana to counter our threats. We're going to go with Fable turn 1. Bombardiers is busted in half, but I think on turn 1, Fable is just the better play. And I'd rather keep a Bombardiers plus a removal spell plus a mana source than like 2 Bombardiers. The card's broken, but like you don't need to rush to get it into play. It's better to come as a surprise on like turn 4 sometimes. I don't even know if I'm really looting. I would only loot if I think Bolt is totally dead against their deck. I have no clue what they're playing, by the way. They're playing Affinity or just like some mid-range deck that just happens to have this bridge. We're getting Molten Collapse and they're hitting our Mox. Okay, dude. Okay, buddy. Whatever. Get rid of the Bolt. It's probably the worst card in my hand, but I'm going to keep everything else. Alright, we've been gifted another Bolt by the magic gods. I'll accept it, right? Do I want to play Wagavan? Do I want to play Broadside? Could even just dash Ragavan this turn. Make sure that we have the guaranteed 4th mana to play One Ring. Assuming this is just like some Jund Cope midrange style deck. Probably best to just jam the One Ring next turn. Yeah, let's take a Ragavan hit. Maybe we can steal Thoughtseize or something fun out of their deck. But really, I'm just interested in the treasure. A strip mine? Sure. Alright, well, extra mana is secured in case we do get stripped. We could have put Broadside into play so that it would stay there, but I'd rather do that. I think I'd rather guarantee my next mana. Alright, we got more bridges. What are you up to? Is this Affinity? Yeah, it is. Okay. I am very inclined to bolt this Emery, but I'm also much more inclined to resolve a One Ring next turn. Oh wow, you're another guy that should be bolted on site. Okay. Yeah, One Ring is going to get resolved here. They do get to like tap their Emery and buy back a Mox Opal and feel smart, but it's fine. Cool though. One Ring, a good card. Play One Ring. Win games. It's just that simple. And then next turn we got to tap Broadside, kill their board, or burn face. There are many roads to victory at this point. We could even copy Broadside with Kiki Chiki. Is that lethal if we have like 2 Broadsides plus a Bolt? Maybe. Right, because a Broadside, the 2 Broadsides would hit for 4. We're going to throw the One Ring for 6. We're going to throw the Broadside clone for 5. So that's 16 damage if it all goes through, plus a Bolt that's 19. Wait, no way. These cards don't do that much damage. Surely I miscounted, right? 4 plus 6 is 10. Wow, that's a lot of damage, jeez. Plus 5 is 15. Yeah, 18 damage. Okay, sure. Broadside's a little messed up. I've been mostly playing energy, where I only have like a little cat token to throw at them. I know that my energy has been playing One Rings too, but this deck just has overwhelmingly more 3-drops. It's just crazy. Alright, there's the Mox Opal. The Mox Opal is at the battlefield. Abandoned Modern, formerly Abandoned Modern card is here to haunt our dreams. They will have blockers is the thing. So they will be able to block some of my broadsides, but like, do I really care? Not really. Alright. Let's draw. Okay. Nice blockers, kid. It would be an absolute shame if something happened to them. You gonna shoot my Kiki? No, no, I need that for the lethal line, copy Bomba. Hey, don't touch him. I needed this Kiki. Okay. Wait, what are you doing then? Oh, off of Box Up. I'm like, wait, why'd you fetch a tap land? I could right now probably bolt DRC before it gets too big. Actually, I'll bolt this, right? This is guaranteed to grow. I mean, I could just wait for them to like surveil or whatever. They have an instant in the bin? They don't. So DRC is gonna grow. Okay. Ah, this is a shame. So now I don't even get to throw my Fury. Yeah, this isn't gonna go as well as I wanted, unfortunately. Alright, maybe I could have been a little less excited there and spent a bit more time playing around things. Okay, so now we play the Broadside. This is not at all a kill, but still pretty cool. Attack here. I think I could just throw the One Ring at them. Like, it's so close to a kill anyway. Throw the One Ring at them. I'm at 8. And then next turn I can just plan on double bolting them. I do want to make sure I don't die in the meantime. I could take out the Emery. And then next turn plan on like doing Dash Ragavan plus Bolt plus Bombardiers throw. That's definitely lethal. Make sure we have enough mana to do that plus whatever we draw. They do have the Steel Cutter in play, so if they find a way to chain spells, they can succeed. Oh, they had a Switch Through teaching on the stack. I didn't realize that. Dang it. Yeah, not bad. I didn't see that. Okay, so they do have a way to chain spells. Like, Emery was the main way to chain spells for Corey Steel, which is why I took it out. They do have to tap this Emery and lose a point of damage. I don't know if they... I don't think they can count to 8 here. They do have the ability to escape an arrow? That's insanity. That's actually kind of crazy. Alright, so let's draw something good. I wonder if we screwed up last turn, because we did have that Fury sequencing moment where I went for Fury early as opposed to late after I attacked with the Bomba. So maybe I'm supposed to play... I'd have to rewatch the video to see exactly what the right sequencing was to play around that. Of course, you can't play around everything in a vacuum, but I'm willing to believe I could have done something differently to hedge against more kinds of interaction that my opponent had. So my opponent could escape their arrow here, gain 3 life, they go to 9. If they go to 9, I bolt them down to 6, I would just have to draw like another ring to kill them. Just totally doable. I'm also going to go to 2, so Ancient Tomb has turned off my One Ring draws, I guess. Oh, what? What are we doing? Wait, what's the plan? Thought they were going to attack me. Okay. I want to block Bumba? Sure. Okay, Fable. Like, yeah. I'd rather dash the Rag than play the Fable, right? Yeah. Like every time I'd rather dash the Rag. Okay. Bumba? Should I be shooting a blocker before combat? I'm gonna bolt them. Nah, just bolt plus throw is a kill here. It actually just doesn't matter how they block, really. They're gonna try to double block Bumba. I'm gonna bolt you. I'm gonna throw my Ragavan at you. Okay. I don't know, I think they should have just escaped arrow there. I don't know if we really beat that card if it hits play. I think I almost like threw that game away, but like whatever. We do that one Meltdown. It was more copies of Meltdown when Affinity was super popular on ladder. Honestly, dude, indestructible lands? They know the plan. Maybe that and like the vacuums. And then otherwise, like the plan is pretty okay against them. Fire magic is maybe defensible. Maybe I'm gonna take a Lynx as well and just like take out our Ragavans because it's gonna get blocked. And then run it back like this. Yeah, on the draw, I'm fine to keep this because we just like bolt whatever their first threat is and then play a Palantir, and then Palantir is going to solo kill, right? Because that card is crazy. I usually like Palantir. I have an irrational attachment to this card ever since I first played it in Timeless. Like, it's not the best card ever, but it's just so fun whenever it goes off. All right, Steel Cutter. And you got a follow-up? Okay. It's fine. I'm just going to bolt this token just to keep the pressure off of me. The longer this game goes, the more favored I am. Palantir is eventually going to add up to a lot. Alright, what do we want to throw away? Maybe Anya's Ravager. I think we're going to need this extra removal spell soon. And we might need the extra land drop. Maybe not. We have a lot of turns to hit our extra lands. Do this. Palantir. So Palantir is going to do nothing except, like, get influence counters added to it right now. But we do get to scry too, so next turn I want to draw this Strip Mine. They're going to let me mill the Fury, of course, but then we draw the Strip Mine. It's our 4th mana, so that we can do, like, one of these threats plus Chain Lightning next turn. Just sweet. Or we're also, you know, Strip Mine proof, so if they Strip Mine us, we can still play a 3-drop, which is fantastic. It's exactly what we're looking to do. We'll play Fable, and then Madness our Anya's Ravager here. Bottom's going for something. Renin 6 Gaming. Uh-oh. RIP lands. Oh, that's actually really bad. That's actually terrible. This is as bad as it gets. Because they had their land drop still, right? I can't remember. Did they play land yet this turn? Looks like they did. Okay. But still. That's still pretty bad. Let's play our Fable. So even if they strip mine us once, we still get to play the Anya's Ravager at least, which is nice. Not great, though. I'll keep these two on tap because they're going to mill us here. They really should mill us, I'll say that. If they don't, we'll just discard them to Fable. They don't mill us. Okay. They probably should have taken the damage, but with, like, Broadside Bombardiers in the deck, my deck's just so explosive. Yeah, we're just going to, like, discard the Pinnacle Monk and Anya's here. I really was not expecting to keep these cards in hand. Tasted Up Arcanist, dude, I love Swiftspear's Teachings. I said it last video too. I gotta put together a Swiftspear's Teachings deck. Look at this. My opponent's going off with all the prowess triggers. This is so sick. Yeah, I love their deck. I love it. I need to build this deck or something similar to it. I like the Mox Opal angle. Though whenever I do put together a deck like this, it feels like I'm just trying to do 5 things at once and I'm doing them all pretty bad, right? Yeah, I'm dead, by the way, because he flashes back Galvanic Blast. This is kick-ass. I feel like I'm doing too many things at once, right? You're trying to do Strip Mine and Affinity and Aggro, and, like, it doesn't work. But, like, it very clearly worked here. Alright. So we're going to be on the play, and now we win because we're on the play, right? And that's just all Timeless is nowadays. My opponent does have a lot of red spells. Yeah, they have a lot of red spells and a lot of way to get out of a Blood Moon, so we shouldn't be slamming Blood Moons on the play. Would Ragged Hands on the play be more advisable? Maybe. It's probably better than, like, a Sunspine Lynx, but, like, better than an Anya's Ravager, too? Probably. I don't know, they have so many ways to block a Ragavan, right? Would I rather have Fire Magic after seeing how aggro slant they are? Probably. Yeah, I feel like it's not a bad idea. Right, on the play, game 3. Let's see it. We do get to try to just slam a One Ring. I'm always down to slam a One Ring a turn ahead of schedule. We'll hold up our bolt here. We're not going to pop Strip Mine or anything. We're just going to try to slam the One Ring on curve, or 1 turn ahead of curve because of this Ancient Tomb, and if we draw Chrome Mox, then it's Christmas. We are going to shoot whatever they play, even if it's, like, the dorkiest card that doesn't do anything. We really just need to slow them down. They're, like, an explosive critical mass kind of deck, as we saw. If they do nothing, though, I'm not gonna force anything, though. I'm gonna play a very unassuming land here. Other than playing my Strip Mine or my Ancient Tomb and exposing it. And again, like, we're gonna bolt anything they do this turn. I don't think bolting them, because I think that's a waste of cards. Though, if we're about to have double One Ring, maybe we can afford to waste a few cards. They have the option to Strip Mine us here. I think it would be a mistake, personally. Okay, sure. I mean, if they resolve like a Dragon's Rage channeling here, they can get smacking. If they do nothing, though, I think that's kind of a mistake. Alright, there you go. They're smacking. Get the Broadside into play. I think now is the time. I wish I had got to actually shoot Dragon's Rage. If I had paid 3 life, I could have, but like I don't think it's quite worth 3 life. Yeah, removal spell and Bomba, that's fine. Removal spells are going to come through eventually, so I'm going to fight through them. The important part is that we don't get stripped off our tomb here so that we could slam a One Ring. My opponent is down to 1 mana. Buddy, pal. Don't tell me you're on 1 mana. I will strip you and bolt you if you are. Okay. If they were truly on 1 mana, it's strip bolt and then we just wait to play our One Ring. Great. On some cards, drawing some mana sources. Always happy to do that. Renin 6 Gaming, yeah. Strip Mine, yeah. They do get to take us off of our 1 red source that we do have in play, which is going to be annoying. Although we do just have like a 1 ring in play, so we should be able to overpower this. Hopefully draw into some Chrome Moxen. A Bamba. We love Bamba. We drew... Oh, we do have a colored source. Okay. I was going to be mad if we drew 0 colored sources. So we can throw this One Ring away. I think that might actually be the play, just to keep ourselves off of being strip locked, because that is rather annoying, to be honest. We could just play another One Ring next turn. So let's go ahead, attack you. We're going to throw our One Ring at Renin 6. And then I'm going to go ahead and strip them here. And hopefully it's not a bad decision. Let's strip them off of black. We do have another strip here to follow it up if it was a good decision. And if it wasn't, then we just play another One Ring and we hide behind our ring. I love the One Ring. Here they do get to hit us for 3 in the air, so we're getting to that scary life total point. But we have plenty of bolts. We'll be okay. So they do have more cards, so the strip really didn't do anything. If we didn't strip them, see, here's the cost of stripping them, is we are only going to have 4 mana next turn instead of 5. Meaning we can't do something like Bolt DRC plus play the One Ring. Which is something I would be very, very, very interested in doing. It would be like a game-winning play, in fact. So maybe we just aren't supposed to strip them there. It does give them access to a 3rd mana. So we're going to go to 6, really 4. Off of Ancient Tomb. It's tough. We're getting to that tough life total, I'll be honest. I don't think we can really rely on anything here. They do have Delirium if they crack their Bauble here. Hopefully they remember that. We'll strip in Graveyard. We're very close to dying. There's a lot of random things that will kill us pretty quickly here. You double DRC. That's bad. That's bad for us. That's bad for business, guys. Oh, that's very bad for business. Yeah. Bad for business. Okay, we're at 6. We're gonna have to hide behind our One Ring, I think, in order to stay alive. Goyf. Okay. This is not a kill. It's very close, though, because this will deal 5 damage to them, plus we could throw it for 6. Actually, wait, it is a kill, right? 5 plus 6 plus 2. Holy moly. Okay. Play this. Right? I didn't miscount. Hope I didn't. Holy moly. Broadside Bombardiers is an absolutely busted Magic card. Like, we stole that game. I mean, the One Ring could have possibly stolen the game as well, but, like... Holy moly, yeah, when I said these 2 cards are the things that really made the deck click, that's why. Great, we're on the play for match 3. First hand was a Snap Mole. This one is much more keepable with the Gemstone Caverns back when we are on the play here. Though this hand isn't fantastic, it's the kind of hand where I am going to probably just play a tap land pass and see what my opponent is up to. It's something I would mull on 7. On 6, I'm going to be a bit more inclined to keep it. Especially because we have a lot of damage-based interaction. Alright, my opponent is playing an Ancient Tomb and passing Bold Strategy Cotton in a Strip Mine meta. Let's go ahead and play a One Ring. And why I like keeping hands like that is because this deck just has a lot of gas in it. Like, if you keep a hand that has mana sources and 2 sources of interaction, you're very likely to draw a One Ring, a Fable, the Mirror Breaker, a Broadside, Bombardiers, or Pyrogoyf. And you're suddenly very in the game at that point. Like, it's pretty much a third of your deck are cards that, like, give you card advantage or a really strong board state to just pull you ahead. Alright, it's green-black midrange. They kept Ancient Tomb with Troll Cycle, which is a bit more defensible in our lovely Strip Mine meta. Opponent could, of course, strip me here. They definitely could. I don't think it would pull them ahead when I have a One Ring in play, but they certainly could. What's the worst they could do right now? Play a Pyrogoyf, play a Worry Zone Guard. Like, those cards don't really beat me. Dark Ritual to their own One Ring is very, very good, though. Dark Ritual to a Pyrogoyf, okay. I'm gonna probably bolt that pretty immediately before I put more card types in the bin. We can also evoke Fury, throw Fury at them, which is a fun one always. Yeah, I like that one, actually. I love it. Yeah, I want to kill my opponent. I want them dead. Yeah, and then we could also play Fable this turn. Holy moly, what a deck, right? Alright, let's attack them with a Bomba. Evoke Fury. Getting rid of the Sunderinger option. We're gonna kill Pyrogoyf here. And then, does Arena hold priority for the Boast ability? I hope it does, dude. I was gonna find out live together. It does, thank God. I actually didn't know that. I haven't played too much of this deck. I'm glad that they added the priority automatically getting held after you have to play an Evoke Elemental. It used to not do that. It used to full control every time you had an Ephemerate or whatever. Oh, right, yeah, and we're like way ahead on board state. Like, their draw to stay in this game would have to be like chaining One Rings into something ridiculous, but I'm also going to be drawing a bunch of cards per turn while they chain their One Rings. A 2/3 is not going to cut it, Chief. You're also dead to like Bomba throwing the One Ring at you with, you know, no further interaction, no further cards cast, absolutely nothing ever happens. I also just double bolt them, which is pretty chad. Bolt you. Actually, I'm gonna draw my cards first, just in case they do have interaction. Ah, Fury, my boy. I don't have the mana or whatever for that. It's fine. Go combat. Do this. You're dead. Cool. Yeah, so even if they had an instant speed way to gain life, we can either throw the treasure token or bolt them, though, right? Okay. So against the mid-range deck, I think I want the Lynx and the Vax, and that's it. I also play Magus. They do play a lot of basic swamps, though, and they troll to find basic swamps, so I don't love moon effects against them. I'm gonna go ahead and say that moon effects are just not necessary. So what else is necessary? Probably Ragavan on the draw, and then on the play I can think a little harder about whether or not I want Ragavan in my deck. My opponent goes first. We got our 1 Gemstone Caverns in hand. Everybody say, yay, Gemstone Caverns. We're against a Strip Mine deck, but, you know, we're balling today. Just put a 4-drop under it. If we get stripped here, I'm gonna, like, slam my desk, but it's life. Gemstone Caverns is so, like, sus in a Strip Mine meta. I don't know if I should go down to 0 copies of Gemstone. I remember when Gemstone first dropped, I was happily, like, slamming 3 copies in, like, Slot Machine. But it's a bit of a liability sometimes to go down on the card advantage just to get strip mined. And what's quite annoying is that opponent gets to go first when I put Gemstone Caverns into play, so they could just strip mine and pass the turn back to me. And be pretty happy about that exchange. I would not be happy about that exchange at all. Okay, so the question, do I strip them? Or do I just, like, say I'm going to play 3 drops? I want to play 3 drops. Your turn, buddy. I want to play my 3 and then my 4 after it. Yeah, they got more mana sources. They're always going to have more mana sources. They do get a Surveil land, which means they probably don't have 3rd mana in hand. They do. Of course they have 3rd mana, and 4th mana. And a One Ring. Why would they ever have anything different? Alright. Fine. So we're gonna play our Palantir. Oh yeah, we drew One Ring. Alright, game's over. Assuming that we get to hit our 4th land drop to play the One Ring, game's over. Neat interaction between Palantir and One Ring. I can't target them there, so Palantir just doesn't do anything on the first turn, in case you didn't know that, why it sort of skipped the trigger. There's also a really cool like edge case between Palantir and the Narset Planeswalker that I learned about the other day talking about this card in Discord. Your opponent may have you draw a card if they have like the Narset Planeswalker or Leovold, some other card that doesn't let you draw cards. They actually can't choose that option, which is really interesting. Okay, they take my ring, whatever. As long as I'm not getting stripped, I'm fine, because then I can just play Pyrogoyf and also be pretty happy. I wouldn't be enthusiastic, like enthralled to play this Pyrogoyf over the One Ring. But it's not like the worst consolation prize. Alright, there goes my Caverns. Goodbye, Gemstone Caverns. You're missed. Ancient Tomb, please. Yeah, we don't get it. I'm never that lucky. I'll put this tapped to avoid the life loss in the future. Alright, opponent. Alright, Troll Cycling, you got it. They have a lot of life loss going on with the ring, so Palantir might actually get me somewhere. Oh yeah, baby, come on. 4 damage. Or maybe they'll be silly and let me draw that. Oh, they'll be drawing! What? Like, I understand people are respecting Broadside, but, like, you should not just let, like, your opponent scry to draw a card every single turn. Like, you should. You really should say no once or twice until the game is stabilized. Right? Alright, we get to slam a One Ring and then maybe win the game. Okay, we're gonna get Gweefed. It's fine. Pyrogoyf can also win the game here, which is pretty neat. So they're gonna take my ring that they let me have. But I'm gonna say the line again. If we don't get strip mined, we get strip mined. Pyrogoyf pretty much kills them. Holy moly. It's fine. We're drawing 2 cards a turn off the Palantir. Surely that's like almost as good as a ring. Okay. I'm gonna play this. My dearest opponent. May I draw a card? Ooh, drawing Bolt and Fable is pretty good, actually. I think I'll take both, honestly. Right? Yeah, we'll take both. I should have put Bolt on top, because I have 2 red sources. My bad. God, I could order them. Do that for a second. Yeah, we need a double Bolt, because now they can play something like a Shieldred, gain a bunch of life. Though my opponent is... They're not doing too well on that life total, I'll be honest with you. So I get to bolt them here, and then bolt them again on my turn, and it might just be a win. Bolt you. Oh man, I love playing red. I love top decking lightning bolts. We unintentionally roped our opponent here. We should have had them dead this turn if I was paying a little more attention, but when I'm talking, I never can pay full attention and I always miss the little sequencing things like that. I don't think they have a good way to gain life here. Right? Right, gamers? Also, Pyrogoyf does kill them if I have a land on top from their POV, so that's pretty scary, but like I know I have lethal here. I guess a Dark Ritual plus another One Ring would do it, but it's pretty clear they don't have that going on. You go, buddy. Alright. Sweet. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Oh, that was the whole BL3. I thought that was only game 1. Alright, I think we got time for one more game. Alright, match 4 with mono red. We've got a turn 1 Ragavan into a turn 2 theoretical 1-drop or 3-drop that we will surely draw. You just draw the 3-drops in this deck. The deck's full of them. It's that simple. See? There's the 3-drop. Like, I mean, either you draw a 3-drop or you drop mana, right, guys? So, like, I'm gonna have something to play regardless. It's just a little sus in the strip mine meta. God, I've said that so many times today. I'm gonna lose my mind if we get stripped off this 1 red source. My opponent's playing in a commercial district. They're a happy camper. They would never strip mine me, right? This happy little guy, why would he strip mine me? Surely. Alright. I mean, either my Raggy gets to connect or my land stay intact. It's pretty unlikely that they get to do both pieces of interaction. Let's play my Bumba. Now let's attack. Alright, we hit here. Ren in 6. My opponent would never strip lock me, right? That's very unsportsmanlike. Surely they would never do such a thing to me as a humble Gruul gamer. I could, of course, like throw a treasure token at them, but I really want it to make sure I can play my threats. We can get stripped. Even if we don't get stripped, it's a guaranteed ring versus a maybe 1 ring. Alright, yeah. Alright, good try, opponent. What are we doing? Dude, yet another run in 6 deck, yet another Ghost Vacuum coming in. Monkey out on the draw? Is that like always the sideboarding? I don't think it is. We'll take out Anya's Ravager here. I think otherwise just keep the deck the same. Alright, game 2, we're gonna be on the draw. But we got a lot of mana acceleration, so we're gonna be pretty happy about it. I think we'll even just throw our Ragavan under the Chrome Mox. And just like go ahead and curve Fable into Pyrogoyf. Goodbye, Wagavan. And we're probably playing One Ring over Pyrogoyf, even though I said Pyrogoyf out loud. Alright, how you feeling, opponent? You alright over there? Alright, Chalice on 1 has hit the battlefield, ladies and gentlemen. It's funny, because like I draw the 1-drops when they do it, but like Fable just throws it away. I mean, this is why the Chalice on 1 just doesn't work, gamers. I'm going to play the One Ring. I'm going to draw 5 million cards. My opponent's going to concede. I don't know. Like, what do they do about this, Cry? That's why Flute is like an S tier card, by the way. If you do, like, kind of want to try to play Prison style, just like Flute the One Ring, and then my deck doesn't do anything. I mean, sure, I still have Pyrogoyf, but it's a lot better than Chalice on 1, in my opinion. Alright, surely my opponent isn't gonna, like, strip me and then, like, recur the strip mine in a very annoying way, right? That would be very unwholesome of them. Ah, we're his own guard, but not quite, buckaroo. Good try. Oh, Chalice blindness! Ah. Forgot. I forgot. Holy moly. Oh, you know what? I got a really cool line. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna redeem myself. Who wants the cool line here? Watch this. Oh, Bombardiers. That trivializes it. No, I want to do my cool line. Watch this, guys. Okay, you ready? We're gonna do intentional Chalice blindness. So I'm gonna throw this into the Chalice because there's no artifacts in the bin. Wait. Watch. And now my Pyrogoyf's a 4 instead of a 3. And my Pyrogoyf can kill his own guard now. Isn't that cool, guys? Alright. Huh? I thought it was cool. Do I even, like, just strip their strip here? Maybe. Does not really matter. Like, this board state wins no matter, like, what game actions get taken. To be honest, like, even if I, like, continually punt 1-drops into the Chalice and sacrifice my treasures for no reason, I don't think my opponent crawls back from this, because this is, like, an instant kill. This is going to draw a million cards. Even if they do answer, like, Kiki, I get to, like, Bumba and kill them. It's not a good day to be the Gruul mage over here. What are they trying to do? I guess just Gruul strip mine? Like I said on the podcast, can't remember if it's the episode we already released or the next one. These are the 2 worst colors in the format. You do need a 3rd color if you want to try to do, you know, red-green land stuff. Because, of course, green is your lands abuse card, and red lets you have Ren in 6, but you really do need a 3rd color in your deck. You can't just be Gruul. Like, he needs white interaction to clear, like, my One Ring and Pyrogoyf, or he at least needs black interaction so we can have Hand Hate plus Fatal Push for this thing. Fury is one of the better cards he could have and clear the board. Oh, okay. I guess Double Fury, right? Double Fury? Pyroclasm, nice. Very nice. And Natty Strip. Alright, I don't care. The Ancient Tomb gets stripped. We're running a little low on life total regardless. Alright. Alright, let's kill our opponent, shall we? Can I also dash this monkey? I can. Let's dash our monkey. Oh, dude, Chalice Blind is Alright, I'm tired, guys. I'm done recording for today. Let's throw the One Ring. Actually, no, wait, I need this One Ring. I need this. I might need another turn. Dude, I was even gonna bolt them for lethal. I'm kind of losing it today. I'm gonna say I need all of this stuff in play, right? If I get bolted, I die. I mean, if they bolt my Bombardier, I also just don't kill them, right? Oh, they can't bolt. They have a Chalice. Whatever, dude. I'm losing it. Yeah, I'm not gonna throw my One Ring at them. Sorry for the sloppy play. I need a break. Alright, opponent just doesn't have anything, so we're fine. Alright, draw a million cards. We drew a Pyrogoyf, of course. So we can go ahead and play this, or we could just play second Bomba. I mean, like, they die regardless, like... Alright, gamers, I'm gonna call that it. This deck's pretty good. I think we won every game this video, though this deck is not, you know, unbeatable. I would say it's probably a really solid tier 2 deck. I don't think it's better than, like, Show and Tell or Energy or Green-Black Midrange, but, like, it might be next best. Like, it's probably in that next tier of decks under the clear, really strong decks, right? Which is cool, because people have been coping for a really long time. They've been hoping that we can get mono red aggro, I guess big red Stompy to be a deck, and it's here, it's real. Don't play Prison, don't play Chalice. Card's bad. I punted into Chalice twice. I intentionally punted into Chalice the third time for the card type in Graveyard, and my opponent still lost. So don't play this silly card and have fun playing mono red.